We are outside SC 125 for our final episode of Sports Paws. And coming up tonight, men's and women's tennis went down to New Jersey to compete in the MAAC championships.
The women's golf squad headed down to Orlando to take on the MAAC golf championships. Find out if they had a happily ever after.
And the Quinnipiac baseball team had a MAAC tournament rematch with the Canisius Golden Griffins. Could they gain some ground from the weekend series?
All this and more on Sports Paws starting right now. Let's head inside. We might be late. Live one last time from Studio 125. Thanks for joining us on Sports Paws. I'm Clever Streich.
And I'm Dylan Summer. It was a historic weekend in Quinnipiac athletics at the MAAC Tennis Championships. But first, let's find out who received year-end all-conference honors heading into the finals. On the men's side, Bobcats finished with 7 all-MAAC awards on the year. Daniel Villek was named as MAAC Men's Tennis Player of the Year. The transfer from UC Riverside was the only singles player in the conference to have a perfect 6-0 record from the number 1 position. Additionally, he was the lone unanimous choice to the All-MAAC first team, earning a spot at number 1 singles and number 1 doubles with Shurya Sud. With his teammates Carlos Broncimo, Finn Burridge, Donovan Brown, and Ariyato Erikaki also received All-MAAC honors. Meanwhile, on the women's side, Caitlin Flower was named to the first team for number 4 singles and first team for number 2 doubles with their partner Caroline Schulzen. Dominique Yao also made second team for number 5 singles. The Quinnipiac men's tennis team were crowned as MAAC champions for the first time on Sunday. Bobcats got revenge on the Fairfield Stags, taking them down in the final. The Bobcats went down early after Fairfield claimed the doubles point. Then Daniel Villek lost to Fairfield's Thomas Smart at the number 1 position. The Bobcats roared back, winning the remaining single sets to claim the title 4-2. Senior Donovan Brown won the clinching point at the number 6 position, sending the Bobcats to the NCAA tournament. The NCAA tennis selection show will be next Monday at 6 p.m. The women's tennis team was also in championship action this weekend against the Stags. Quinnipiac lost to Fairfield 4-3, unable to secure the three-peat. The Bobcats picked up the doubles point, and Dominique Yeo and Caitlin Flower both picked up singles wins for the Bobcats. But Fairfield tied things up at 3, forcing a winner-take-all match between Sarah Liu and Aniga Shankar. Liu defeated Shankar 2-1 for the Stags' 11th MAAC championship.
Last weekend on the links, the Bobcats looked to four-peat as MAAC women's golf champions in Orlando, Florida. Despite the MAAC tournament being played at the Disney World Golf Course, this year was anything but magic for John O'Connor and the Bobcats. Quinnipiac came up short to the UAlbany Great Danes by 3 total strokes, finishing tied for second with Fairfield. Quinnipiac was in the lead after the first day of action, but fell behind on days 2 and 3. Despite the loss, graduate student Leanne Peralta and first-year Samantha Galantini were named to the women's golf All-MAAC team. Galantini was also honored as the 2024 MAAC Rookie of the Year. This weekend, the undefeated Quinnipiac acrobatics and tumbling team will head to Fairmont, West Virginia for the NCATA National Championship meet. Brianna Trachtenberg is outside to preview the Bobcats' quest for its first overall national title.
Thanks, guys. Now, this year, the acrobatics and tumbling team just wrapped up a historic season, and the championship tournament is right around the corner, so let's see what this year's tournament is going to be. Now, the Bobcats, they earned their first undefeated season in program history, finishing with a 6-0 record. This includes 3 big wins against Sousa Pacific, University of Oregon, and Gannon University. All 3 are ranked opponents, and all 3 will be in the tournament for themselves. Now, the Bobcats are going to enter into the tournament as the number 2 seed and will face off against the number 7 seed, Frostburg State. It's going to be a Bobcat versus Bobcat battle, and the 2 Bobcats have seen each other twice before, both in the 2022 season and in the 2023 season. And now in their last meeting against them, the Quinnipiac defeated Frostburg State by almost 7 points. And Frostburg is going to enter into the tournament with a 7-2 record and finish with their season as the Mountain East Conference champions. Now, if Quinnipiac is able to repeat and end up defeating Frostburg again, they'll either face off against number 3 Gannon or number 6 Azusa Pacific in the semifinals. Now, they beat both of these teams in the regular season, and if they end up doing it again, they will be most likely to face off Baylor University, as they have currently on an 8 national championship winning streak. Baylor is also undefeated this season with a record of 8-0, but this also includes 2 wins against Oregon and a win against Azusa Pacific. They are a dominant powerhouse in acrobatics and tumbling, and they have skills like the Baylor Boomerang. They're going to be one of the toughest opponents that Quinnipiac has to face if they want to take home the championship. Now, just some keys to bring home some hardware for Quinnipiac. They're going to have to keep their routines clean and consistent, making sure they're not making any mistakes out there on the mats. And they can't let all of the nerves and excitement get to them. They have to stay calm, cool, and collected. And they have a lot of experience on this team to do that. They are 13 seniors, so it's time to let those older athletes use the experience in the past 4 years to help guide them and bring them through in the event. And it's all about getting that early lead. The second half of events is the strongest for the Bobcats, but if they get that early lead, they'll be able to build on it and keep on a strong hold on to the lead and not have to worry about the other team coming back. That's going to require them to rely on some stars like Tiffany Zeba and Farrah Chernoff for the tumbling events and Mia Rose King for the pyramid and acro events. Now the Bobcats, they're going to kick off that tournament on Thursday, April 25th at 10:30 a.m., nice and early on Saturday morning against Frostburg State. Now that's all I have for this championship preview. I'm going to go back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Brianna. Rand Pecknold and the men's ice hockey team are staying active in the transfer portal, adding 2 new defensemen. Defensemen Charlie Letty and Nate Benoit will be new faces on the Bobcats' back end come fall 2024. Letty is a 2022 fourth-round draft pick of the New Jersey Devils. He helped dispatch the Bobcats from this year's NCAA tournament as he registered 8 assists in 41 games in his sophomore season at Boston College. Benoit, a 6th-round pick of the Minnesota Wild, had 1 assist in his first-year campaign in Grand Forks at the University of North Dakota. On Saturday, the men's lacrosse team swam with the LIU Sharks in Brookville, New York to close out the regular season on the road. In a back-and-forth conference clash, the Bobcats got bit by the Sharks in the end in overtime, falling 10-9. LIU's Tom Von Bargen netted the golden goal with less than 3 minutes to play in the extra frame. The Bobcats mounted a comeback after trailing 6-4 at halftime, as the Bobcats received 2 goals each from John DeLucia, Evan Perry, and Stephen Germain. But the Sharks swarmed on its senior day to improve its conference record to 7-2. With the regular season wrapped up in the MAAC, let's see where the Bobcats drew in the men's lacrosse tournament. The 6th-seeded Bobcats will pack its bags for the Big Apple against the 3-seeded Manhattan Jaspers on Saturday, April 27th. The other opening round contest will feature number 4 Marist hosting number 5 Siena. In the semifinals, number 1 Sacred Heart and 2-seeded LIU will await the winners of the opening round games. The highest remaining full conference member will host the semifinals and championship game in early May.
While the men's lacrosse team continues their season, the women's lacrosse season came to an end on the road in Niagara, New York. Even though the Bobcats took the first 3 goals of the contest, Niagara went on a 14-0 run into the 3rd quarter. Niagara ended up running away with a 22-5 victory over Quinnipiac. Junior Angelina Sparacio led the way for the Bobcats with 2 goals and an assist. Meanwhile, graduate student Melissa Murphy scored her first collegiate goal and recorded her 5th multi-cause turnover game in her last 6 appearances. Mia Delman and Abby Wise found the back of the net. Quinnipiac was eliminated from the postseason earlier this week.
Now, Dylan, we have to step aside for our first break of the night.
When we return, we'll head to the Diamond as the baseball team hosted Canisius in a 3-game set looking to gain some major ground in the MAAC.
Yeah, it was a huge weekend for baseball. And how about softball? They hosted a northern team as well as the Niagara Purple Eagles came to town. How did they fare? Stick around and find out.
I can't hear you, little girl. You're going to have to speak up.
Well, if you keep yelling, you're not going to be able to hear anything at all.
Is this a part of the show?
Can we turn the heat up? It's like an ice box in here.
I'm going to need you guys to turn it down a little bit. I'm clearly in the middle of a show here.
A show? I thought this was a eulogy.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working.
I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. We head to the baseball diamond for a MAAC tournament rematch as Quinnipiac kicked off a 3-game homestand against Canisius. Bobcats, Golden Griffs. It was a defensive battle between these two squads until the 5th inning, and that's where we'll kick things off. Bobcats up 1-0 at this point, and they will make it 2 as Dominic Proctor is able to score on this wild pitch and double the lead. 2-0 Quinnipiac as we head into the 6th inning. 3 innings is way too much game for Canisius as Carlin Dick rocks one into right center field over the head of Gabe Wright. Kenny Dodson scores on this play, and the Griffs tie it up at 2. Heading on to the 7th inning. Bases juiced for Gabe Wright, and he crushes that one into deep left center. Keegan O'Connor will score on the play. Christian Smith will score, and C.J. Willis sliding into the plate. He scores, and the throw is not in time. Bobcats now up 6-2 as the celebrations begin. This game is knocked wide open. Heading into the 8th inning. The Griffs are not going down quietly. Jackson Strong belts a strong one into left center field on this pitch as Gabe Wright tries to make a play on it, but he just comes up short on the dive. Dodson with the wheels will come in to score, cutting the deficit for 4 runs. But that's all that she wrote, folks. That's the final chapter. Game 1 is in the books. The Bobcats taking it 8-3 off of the stellar offensive performance. And Bob Ayeri had a 6-inning relief appearance. Quite the game for Quinnipiac to kick off the weekend.
After coming out victorious in Game 1, could the Bobcats keep their momentum rolling into Game 2 on Saturday? Quinnipiac versus Canisius, with the Bobcats looking to win the series after taking that first game on Friday. As you see right here, pregame, it's going to be Mason Olsch on the bump for this one, and he's going to have a big day. We'll talk about that in a second. First inning, it's going to be Kenny Dodson, though, that's going to get to him as a leadoff home run for the Golden Griffins. They're going to put them out on top 1-0. What a statement from Dodson early in this contest. But Olsch is going to bounce back with 1 strikeout right there following that home run. And then moments later, it's going to be Olsch again, this time striking out Jackson Strong, 1-0 after 1 inning. Now in the 2nd inning, it's going to be Gabe Wright that's going to get things going for the Bobcats as he gets his first homer of the year, his first Quinnipiac home run at that. Wright sure got all of that one, and it's 1-1 after 2. 3rd inning, how about some deja vu as Mason Olsch once again sending another Golden Griffin packing. 7th inning, Olsch once more, he was dealing and wheeling with another strikeout. Olsch finished the game going 7 innings, only allowing 1 run and 10 strikeouts. Bobcats lead 5-1 now in the 8th inning. How about some insurance runs from Jared Zimbardo, who almost got a cycle on the day. This one will leave the yard as he homers right there to make it 6-1 Quinnipiac, putting the final statement on this game. Quinnipiac takes Game 2 6-1 as they look to go for the sweep on Sunday. Junior Mason Olsch was dominant on the bump with 10 strikeouts on the day. Q30's Ben Rickovicius has more.
7 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, and only 1 earned run for Mason Olsch in the Bobcats' big win against Quinnipiac on Saturday.
Yeah, I just had all my pitches today. Obviously, the first inning didn't go as planned, but second inning on, I was on with all my pitches and got ahead in the count and was able to get guys out.
March was a tough month for Mason Olsch. He had 5 appearances over the month, including 3 where he surrendered 7 or more runs. But April has been different for Olsch, coming off of a 7-innings, 2-hit performance against NJIT and a 7-inning, 1-run performance against Canisius on Saturday. Head coach John Delaney says Olsch has been having more success because he's been able to put mistakes behind him.
If mistake happens behind him or they put up a run or something like that, he's doing a better job with managing him himself, staying mentally prepared and not letting it get to him. I mean, he came in the dugout and you wouldn't have noticed that he gave up a home run.
April has been a month of changes for Olsch. In April 2023, Olsch spent most of his outings coming out of the pen, but this season he has become one of Quinnipiac's most trusted starters. For Olsch, deep down he knows he performs best as a starter.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a pen guy, but getting the starts, getting my confidence, and getting deep into games is really what I'm good at.
Olsch's success has caught the eyes of his teammates. Outfielder Jared Zimbardo has been impressed with Olsch's command.
He's awesome. I mean, he's going out there every day, doing what he can, just get back into his groove. What he had last year, his all-speed was all working today, change-up, slider. His fastball played well off that, and he was able to handle some big guys in the Canisius lineup.
Delaney has had a front-row seat to Olsch's development. He's been proud of how he stepped up into the starter role.
Over time, I mean, as any young kid, you're trying to feel through stuff, and then as you get older, it becomes more like you got to take on a bigger role. And right now, he's pitching as a lead role guy, and you've seen a lot of strides the last couple weeks. Even though his beginning of the season wasn't ideal for him, but being able to move past that and then continue to progress forward, and now he's pitching the way we're capable of pitching, what we've seen of him.
For now, Olsch will rest, and the Bobcats will try to get a series sweep against Canisius on Sunday. Reporting for Q30 Sports, I'm Ben Rickovicius.
Games 1 and 2 were W's for John Delaney's squad. On Sunday, the Bobcats looked to bring out the brooms in Game 3. Quinnipiac, Canisius. Quinnipiac looking for the sweep in Game 3 against the Golden Griffins. Let's go to the third. Bobcats up 1-0 as Tommy Sheridan comes through for Canisius, doubling in a run to tie the game. Canisius would go up 2-1 later in the inning, but the Bobcats responded. Bottom of the third, Keegan O'Connor, frozen rope, Oppo Choco Taco, tie, ball game. 5th home run of the year for the senior. What a season he is having. On to the 4th now. Matt DeRosa shoots one into the outfield. It's caught, but Christian Smith with the wheels comes home and scores to take the lead back. 3-2 Bobcats. They bat around in the inning. Smith again, swing and a drive. No doubter to left center field. A 3-run home run for the sophomore, and the Bobcats have blown this game open 7-2. Bashing the arms, showing the bats. You'll love the celebration. And how about these gloves? Ground ball to short in the 7th. Proctor scoops, leaps, and fires a dart to first for the out. That needs another look. A perfect cheater hop for Dominic Proctor. Bobcats roll the victory 10-5. Andrew Rubio comes in the 2nd and tosses 4 innings of relief.
After sweeping Canisius at home, let's look at where the Bobcats stand in the MAAC. Quinnipiac sits in 4th place in the conference with a record of 7-6. However, the biggest shock of the week was Niagara dropping its first MAAC contest of the season. The 10th place Siena Saints shut out the top team in the conference yesterday 5-0. Niagara remains out in front of the conference, but Ryder and Fairfield are on its tail. Marist rounds out the top 5 of the standings, while St. Peter's continues to struggle at the bottom, losing 8 straight games. The Quinnipiac softball team also hosted a weekend series as they welcome Niagara to Hamden. Another Saturday doubleheader for the Bobcats as they go ahead and take on the Niagara Purple Eagles. You see them lining up, getting ready for the first contest of this weekend series. We're going to head into the 3rd inning. Hannah Davis at the dish is going to send one up the middle, a hard ground ball, and it's going to be the game's first hit at that. Then a few batters later, it's going to be Natalia Apatiga at the plate. A little bit of the same as another line drive up the middle. No runners score though. And now top of the 4th, Niagara at the plate, and it's going to be an error at 3rd from Ella McGalliard. and that's going to set up Niagara perfectly for this shot to right center field. Amanda Engel is going to try to get there, but she can't make it in the end. Niagara will score here on the play, and it would be the first and only game run of this contest. But to finish out the game, it'll be Carolyn Walker trying to steal second, can't get there. 1-0 Niagara in the first game. Now heading into the second game, it was a much different ball game for the Purple Eagles and the Bobcats. As you see the teams getting ready for it once again. First inning, it's going to be Niagara that's going to get their bats on fire early on with an RBI single. Bobcats trail 4-0 after one. Now into the second. Some life in the batter's box from the Bobcats. Kennedy DeMont singling one up the middle. Now 4-1 Niagara. On to the fourth inning. Niagara again putting on the damage with a bomb right here from Samantha Hare, who's going to go over the fence, scoring the fifth run of the game. Now into the fifth inning, it's going to be a tricky hit from Lindsay Mayo that's going to get past Mary Fogg, and that's going to score another run. Bobcats trail 7-1, and to top it off, it's going to be a mercy rule as a monster double clears the bases. Niagara with an 11-1 mercy rule over the Bobcats. A double victory for Niagara on Saturday. The softball team's errors did not help the Bobcats out in either game. Q30's Zach Naffa has more.
The Quinnipiac Bobcats dropped both games in their doubleheader Saturday against the Niagara Purple Eagles in very different fashions. The first, a heartbreaking, dramatic 1-0 loss. In the second, an 11-1 mercy rule that ended in the fifth inning. However, the common thread in both games were the Bobcats' untimely errors on defense.
I just think we didn't come out the way we needed to defensively in that first game, and it kind of set the tone. So we just got to come out tomorrow and have a short memory and just be better and be the team that we know we can be.
In the first game, Sydney Horan threw a complete game, but was tagged with the loss after Niagara capitalized on a 2-out error in the fourth inning, with the Purple Eagles' first hit of the game going for an RBI double. Head coach Hillary Smith said Horan gave the team a chance to win and wishes the offense could have backed her up.
We just let her know we got to have her back and that it just doesn't fall on her. You know, there's 23 of us on this roster, and it takes all 23 of us to win, and it's never just one moment. There's a bunch of moments that go on through the game, and for her to just remember that and just to keep fighting, because I'm just so proud of her.
The score in Game 2 was much different, but the story was the same, as Niagara took a 4-0 lead in the first inning after Quinnipiac committed 3 errors. The Bobcats were unable to dig themselves back out of the early hole, but Smith knows her team can move past today and have success the rest of the season.
Yeah, you know, like we just talked about, Niagara did a great job. Like, I'll tip my hat to them. They did a great job. But I also, you know, just remind them we've worked so hard to be here, to compete, to be able to have this moment. And we have beat some really great teams. We have had some really close games with some really great teams. And we just need to remember who we are when we go out there, and don't let today define who we are, because our season is nowhere near over and we're still right there to get into this tournament.
With the Bobcats now sitting outside of a spot in the MAAC tournament, they'll look to bounce back on Sunday in their series finale against Niagara. For Q30 Sports, I'm Zach Naffa.
Thanks, Zach. Now, Dylan, we have to step aside for another commercial break, but when we come back, we have even more transfer portal news to share. Find out which teams will be joining the women's ice hockey squad after this.
And get excited. We have top 5 plays for one last time. Sports Paws. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
They're going to win.
Yes, they are. They're going to win in Placid.
When's the last time they won?
Do you like debating sports with your friends?
Just because it was in 2016 doesn't mean they can't win it this season.
That's a long time ago. They're not.
And all things Quinnipiac athletics?
And after that, then they're going to win at the NCAA tournament.
No, they are.
Yes,
no.
they are.
Then Bobcat Breakdown is the place for you.
Tune in every Tuesday at 9:30 p.m.
Online at q30tv.com/watch.
We're the home for all things sports debate.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie. Nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. Cass Turner is bolstering her lineup with some new additions from the transfer portal. The Bobcats have added 4 players to the 2024-2025 roster. There's some familiar ECAC faces in Tessa Holt, a transfer from Colgate, who potted 11 points in 40 games last season, and Lawrence Burnett, who tallied 7 points in 40 games with Clarkson. Division III standout Megan Rittenhouse will make the jump to Division I after serving as captain to Colby College last year, and a Nutmeg State foe turned friend in Catherine Stockdale will add a scoring touch in Hamden. She had 17 points in 34 games with UConn last campaign.
Hey, Clever, today is your 22nd birthday, and I got you a present.
Oh, really? I love surprise gifts. What is it?
Well, it's top 5 plays of the week.
Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I wanted. I'll kick us off. Here we go, top 5 plays of the week. We start on the bases as Hannah Davis gets the hit off Niagara to drive in 2 Bobcats. They take the 3-2 lead in that game that they would end up dropping.
On to play number 4. It's another RBI double, this time in baseball. Bases loaded, Gabe Wright drives it, and CJ Willis and Matt DeRosa will go ahead and score, extending that Quinnipiac lead.
Play 3, we're sticking with baseball. Keegan O'Connor with the solo game-tying home run. Quinnipiac was tied with Canisius 2-2 after that.
On to play number 2, MAAC championship on the line, and it's Donovan Brown that's going to come through, and you can see the celebration right there for their first MAAC title with the dog pile, the whole team coming together there.
A historic moment for men's tennis, but that's not play 1. Play 1 this week, we have another baseball play. Defensive Dominic Proctor with the Jeter toss. And the athletic throw got the Bobcats the victory eventually.
Now, Clever, unfortunately, it's our time to say goodbye. How about you kick us off?
On Monday night, October 19th, 2020, I stepped foot into the media suite for the first time. A first year who just spent his first 2 months of college in the middle of a pandemic and near isolation playing Super Mario Odyssey. I might not have even come to the suite, but I followed the persistence of the person sitting next to me, my roommate of 4 years, Dylan Summer. What I saw on that desk that night changed the trajectory of my college experience forever. Soon I had the opportunity to produce this show for the next 3 years, 2 as an associate and 1 as an executive. Every step of the way, Dylan was with me, my producing teammate. With little resources and little sleep, every weekend became a never-ending drive to create the best possible graphics, tapes, and packages, all for the passion of sports journalism. So what is Sports Paws? Well, it's the training ground for the next generation of sports TV, a generation that will go on to cover Super Bowls, World Series games, NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals, and in my case, the Olympics. But it's also a passion project and a legitimate source for Bobcat sports news. So to the Golden's SP logo behind me, thank you for changing my life for the better, for creating lifelong memories and friendships. It's been an unforgettable ride, and I can't wait to see what will happen live in Studio 125 down the line. My time on Sports Paws comes to a close right now.
Coming to Quinnipiac, I knew that I wanted to get involved in student media. After attending both sports shows, former sports director Ethan Logue went up to me and encouraged me to apply for an associate producer role. As the quiet kid that was trying to break out of his shell, I took his advice and I never looked back. My Monday nights became focused on one thing only, Sports Paws. From associate producing to executive producing, I learned the ropes of creating graphics, making highlights, building a rundown, and most importantly, becoming a leader. In my time here, I never could have envisioned how far this show could have gone. After my first year of taking the reins of the show, I was disappointed in our product. I knew what the show was capable of, but we were not executing it to the fullest. I knew that I wanted to come back the following year and change what Sports Paws was, and our staff certainly did that. Through covering the men's ice hockey team's first national title to head coaches retiring and stepping away, Sports Paws covered it all. Once the semester concluded, Sports Paws was awarded Show of the Year by the station and received national recognition with a pinnacle. I cannot thank the producers and members that have crossed paths with enough to get Sports Paws where it is today. That's it for us. Thank you for watching Sports Paws, and thanks to everyone behind the scenes who made this show so special for the last 4 years.
Be sure to follow us for more Q30 content on X at Q30 Sports and visit our website, q30tv.com. For my co-host, roommate, and best friend Dylan Summer, we say so long, Sports Paws, and good night from Hamden.